and that is Dorina. And welcome to Dorina of Dorina's Kitchen. If we can all give her a round of applause, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. So it is really nice to be here. And I think I met you, Julie, I think 4 or 5 years ago with another networking group. And then I went to one of yours over there in Savage. And that was about, that was a while back. Anyway, so I'm Dorina. I have, my business is Dorina's Kitchen. And it's been a lot of things over the years, but, you know, it's been everything from a restaurant to catering to specialty desserts and things that make people happy when they eat them, I hope. Anyway, so the thing is, though, the one thing that has always stuck out with what I do was the teaching of the cooking. So Julie's been networking since she was 19. I've been teaching people how to cook since I was 19. First cooking class I did was some friends in college who called me up. I was kind of like the neighborhood resident Italian kid that the family had a restaurant. So, you know, I knew how to cook. Anyway, I have, let me fast forward a little bit. I've spent my life kind of always wondering what I was supposed to do. I have 6 kids. I've been married almost 32 years. So my house has always been kind of like an episode of Chopped on a daily basis. I have 5 boys. So they walk in, I'm starving. But it wasn't just about that. I started teaching people how to cook because being a mom of 6, I knew how to cook things that were healthy, cook things that were quick, cook things that were tasty and cheaper. And when you got 6 kids, you're always going for cheaper. But you know, over the years then, as I started doing more things, I kept wondering, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something bigger. And then my friends who I told that to, they're like, yeah, you've got 6 kids, you've done big, you know, that's good enough. And it's not really. So of course, you know, our time's not God's time. And things started to come together for me when my last kid was in high school. Things, the ideas and everything that I had done, and I needed to do everything I've done all my life to get to this point. So my main thing I do now is I teach people how to cook, and I teach them how to cook for the purpose of getting people back to the table. You see, like I said before there was other little reasons, you know, cheaper, tastier, healthier, but the reality of it is we need to get back to the table. That's really what makes us healthier, and I'm going to explain why. I'm going to tell you who I am and where I'm from. My family, my dad immigrated here from Italy, from a little village called Roseto Val Fortore. Now, that little town, the first immigrants that came to the United States came in the 1880s, 1890s, and landed in eastern Pennsylvania working the mines. They ended up starting their own little town because they were kind of pushed aside because they were just the Italians. And they started this little town. It was purely just them for like 80 years. You get to the 50s and 60s, the doctor serving the town found that nobody in this town had any heart disease up to a certain age. And so he tells a colleague, all these doctors and scientists descend upon the town to study, what are these people eating? And that's the obvious, but it wasn't what they were eating. What they ultimately attributed it to, and of course, as a Reader's Digest version here, but it was that what they were, was their community-centered, church-centered, family-centered life. It was how they lived. They said that the people nourished each other. There was lack of stress. Somebody always had your back. I say it's not necessarily what you're eating, but how you're eating together. So, you know, when we sit down and eat at the table, that is the foundation of society. You know, we've got the country and we've got states and we've got counties and cities and towns, but ultimately the bottom foundation, the building block is the home, and the cornerstone of the home is the table. It's where we come together. So, you know, there was a point in time I met somebody at another networking meeting who worked for a newspaper, invited me to this event. It was some event at a nursing, not a nursing home, but like an elderly community in Gaithersburg, Maryland. And she wanted to introduce me to some people. And this is right when the whole back to the table idea came to me back in 2018. And I'm on my way there. All of a sudden, I'm beating myself up saying, who am I? I'm just a mom. What do I think? Because I had this idea. I'm like going to change the world. And I'm crying all the way there. And I'm like, who am I? I'm just a mom. Who am I to be sharing this big idea and thinking I'm going to save the world? And we get there, and as we're in the hallway, she meets this guy, this older gentleman who, you know, is walking down the hall. She knew him from another event, and she's like, hey, Mr. Brown, how you doing? And he stops and chats with her for a minute, introduces me. Okay, nice to meet you. We go on our way. And then she tells me, she goes, you know, he's got a cool story. I said, what's that? She goes, he was one of Martin Luther King's drivers. And I was like, wow, if that wasn't a tap on the shoulder from somewhere else telling me that, yeah, one person can make a difference. And, you know, so that really struck me as I felt like I was going in the right direction. So I do cooking classes. I started taking people to Roseto in Italy. It started out as a culinary trip. And then from there, I realized that I'm teaching people not just how to cook, but how to live. And, you know, we go back to this, you know, gosh, 25 years ago, I was running the Italian festival down in Mitchellville, Maryland. And the old Italian priest said to me, he goes, you know, we got to keep this thing going. It's really important. And he says, because first you have your heritage, and because everybody's somebody from someplace. People more in touch with their heritage tend to be more in touch with their faith, because usually they're intertwined. You know, I'm Italian, so you know I'm Catholic. And people more in touch with their faith tend to be more in touch with their families, because you've got the traditions and the rituals from your heritage and your faith that bond your families. People more in touch with their families tend to be better individuals because they've got that support network around them. But we don't have that in this country anymore. We don't eat dinner together. You know, we don't have heritage because that's, oh no, we got a melting pot. We should be like an antipasto platter where each thing shines on its own, but together it's a beautiful platter, you know? So anyway, but we don't have heritage. We don't have faith. Oh, God forbid we talk about God, you know? Families are torn apart because, oh, got a job in California, you got to go for the money, you know? And all of a sudden everybody's separated. And then we have lonely individuals, and loneliness is kryptonite. But the family table is what brings us together. We should not be upstairs at the computer or in front of the television. You know, how do we bring this back? Well, we teach people how to cook. And the reason being is if you cook dinner, there's a greater chance you're going to come to the table. If not, if you order a pizza, you're going to end up with, you know, on the coffee table in front of the TV. And what happens is, you know, if I make dinner, we're at the table, got family at the table. If I make dinner, more than likely it's Italian. So now I've got heritage and family. And even I can't get them to go to church every Sunday because they're all in their 20s, and you know how that is. I can at least get them to say grace and give thanks at the table. So now I've got heritage, faith, and family at the table. We have 21 meals potential each week, you know, so you got a lot of time besides Sunday dinner. Come to the table. So anyway, right now, this year I've pivoted my business because all my trips got canceled, all my classes got canceled. And so what did I do? I turned it into a YouTube channel. And I do Facebook Lives 4 to 5 times a week. I have a YouTube channel where we've edited them and have them in playlists. And I finally made it to 1,000 subscribers. So I am able to start monetizing my channel. So what I would like to do, I've got a lot going and I know my time is just about up, but I'd like to offer anybody, I'm actually right now putting a course together on how to get your family back to the table. And in a couple of weeks before that, we're doing a little free challenge on how to get your kitchen prepped to do that on the daily. But I am seeking out younger people too. I'm really trying to hit the younger generation. But I would love to offer anybody a quick call. Feel free to call me. We can set up a phone call.